Hey everyone, how's it going? If you were to go back to the year 2000 and ask someone what is the strongest type in Pokemon, without a doubt, people would say the Psychic type. And this is especially true in Generation 1. Psychic doesn't really have any weaknesses, and the only thing that resists it in Generation 1 is Psychic itself. Yet despite all this, among pre-evolved Pokemon, only one Psychic Pokemon appears within the top 10, at least as of now. Slowpoke in 10th spot. Pre-evolved Psychic Pokemon just tend to not have the same overpowering advantage their final evolutions do. When we look at Drowzee's base stats, you can really see this. It has utterly mediocre, even poor stats in everything except for Special, which is probably its most important stat. Funny enough, in Gen 2, its special attack is also really bad. That's its special defense, so good thing we're playing Generation 1. Something else that's important to note about Psychic Pokemon in Gen 1 is they don't always have the best move pools. They just get Psychic moves, which Drowzee does get, eventually, but not a lot of coverage outside of those Psychic moves. Not that it necessarily needs it, but important to note. Having said all that, I'm very curious how Drowzee is going to do. I would argue on paper it looks like the best pre-evolved Psychic Pokemon, which sucks because Abra, if it just got an attacking move to start, would have probably been the best Pokemon in Gen 1. I kind of maybe want to try that one day, see if that's true. But for now, let's see how good Drowzee does versus Kanto. But first, I want to thank today's sponsor, Maraibo Go. Maraibo Go is a new game that combines many interesting gameplay elements, such as pet capturing, battling, exploration, survival elements, and even base building. There are over 100 pets to catch, and each pet has both strengths and weaknesses, all with a unique design. Which one is going to be your favorite? Now, these pets aren't just used in battle, but can also be used to gather resources, as well as assist with the construction of your base. But wait, there's more. Maraibo Go also has a multiplayer component, both a co-op mode where you can explore the world with a friend, or you can even choose to take on each other as rivals. Now, the best part is that Maraibo Go is completely free and has just been released on mobile, so you can get in on the ground floor. All you need to do is click my link in the description and you'll start your exciting journey with pals to discover and a world to uncover. Alright, so the first time I battle Brock is at level 12, and we have Hypnosis, which would be good if Brock didn't have 5 full heals per Pokemon. And that is more than a bit of a problem. I mean, first things first, as you can see, Hypnosis can just miss, but even when it hits, then what does it do? Brock's just gonna heal. So I thought about it and realized the odds of me hitting 5 Hypnosis in a row with 60% odds was just too low. And so unfortunately, I do think in order to beat Brock, we need to level up until we get Confusion. Of course, I did want to try and do this earlier. Every level starts taking an increasing amount of time, and you can see that Drowzee is doing way more damage than it was, but after just one defense curl, we're doing basically nothing, and we're not fast enough to get critical hits, so we just lose to Geodude. We've yet to even make it to Onix, meaning we're not even close, so more leveling up is required. And eventually, although it took a very long time, 1 hour and 40 minutes of in-game time, not Abra bad, but pretty bad, we have Confusion, and although it doesn't one-shot Geodude, that's disappointing, and we don't outspeed Onix, that's also disappointing, we do win very quickly. And Confusion should help us absolutely annihilate, especially with base 90 special, most of the rest of the game, or at least the rest of the early game, I should say. There is one trainer I know that will be a little tougher, but we can skip her for a little bit. Obviously, the trainer in question is Misty, so we're gonna battle Rival 2 first. Now, unfortunately, Pidgeotto, because our speed is so bad, does outspeed us. And I do want to put it to sleep because Sand Attack is so devastating, but I just can't get Hypnosis to hit. Unfortunately, Confusion isn't going to knock it out so quickly. Come on. There we go. And yeah, it's a 3-hit KO. Oh, 2-hit KO. Maybe I should have just gone for confusion. Abra can be knocked out by Mega Punch, which you get in Mount Moon. Another kind of super powerful early game attack, but at least its accuracy is bad. And then I went for Hypnosis for I don't know what reason. I think it was just a misclick, but regardless, Rival 2 isn't so bad. So 2 hours in, we make our way to Nugget Bridge. And this time, for the first time in a while, there's nothing all that interesting to talk about here. Now, if you watched the last video, I did talk about how skipping Misty is really bad. So I just go for Mega Punch. We don't outspeed Star U, but look how much damage we do. Star Me, I'm going to try to put to sleep, and I get a speed drop, which is actually good. It's going to power up Mega Punch. It's still going to be a 4 KO, unless I get a critical hit after an X defend, no less, which is pretty good. We're not going to be able to use Bubble Beam, but beating Misty here means I can battle Lieutenant Surge right away, meaning less backtracking, which should help Drowzee make up a little bit of time. Remember, no Pokemon really goes through the game that quickly as a pre-evolved. There's always moments you need to grind. So as long as we don't need to grind too much more after Brock, and considering because we had to grind for Brock, we're a much higher level than we otherwise would be, maybe we'll just cruise through the rest of the game. The big thing I want right now is Psychic, but we're still a little bit away from it. Once we get that, everything is going to be just like this beautiful color scheme that I work on for way longer than you guys know. Golden. Rival 3 is going to be a bit easier than Rival 2 because we're at a higher level, so now we actually outspeed Pidgeotto. 2-hit. Raticate outspeeds us, but it's 1 hit. Kadabra, we have Body Slam now. Still outspeeds us. And then Wartortle, if you always wonder why the Rival always gets Squirtle, it's just the best starter for the Rival. Unfortunately, the movesets in Gen 1 aren't great, and the teams aren't great, but I do find that Blastoise tends to be pretty good, and that will give the champion Executor, which will be annoying, but that's a problem for way in the future JRSE. Current JRSE actually has to battle Lieutenant Surge. That should be pretty easy. So the good Lieutenant sends out Voltorb. Well, actually, it's the bad Lieutenant. We go for Body Slam just because, why not? I'm running out of power points, so Body Slam is fine. When Raichu comes out, I switch to Confusion, but you can see it's taking a bunch of hits. I mean, it's getting to the point where a 50 base power attack just isn't going to cut it anymore. But good news, this is the last major battle in which I have to use Confusion. Although I will have to use it in Rock Tunnel and leading up to it, no trainer is really going to pose much of a challenge for a Psychic Pokemon, so we can skip ahead all the way to Celadon City, and we're battling the Rockets just in front of Giovanni. You may notice I didn't go and get Psychic, because Drowzee actually learns it fairly early at level 32. So I realized, although it might take a little bit more time to beat a couple Pokemon in 2 hits versus 1, the fact that I don't need to go to Mr. Psychic and thus do shopping early will give me an extra calcium or Carbos, which could really help Drowzee down the line. Small optimizations. We also picked up the PowerPoint Up located within the Rocket Game Corner, and although Kangaskhan's able to outspeed us, it's not able to outdamage us, and very quickly we have obliterated Giovanni 1. Now, I can do a bunch of different things, but for the first time again in a long time, I'm going to battle Erica next. Because although the Execute before her will be a little annoying, all her Pokemon, other than Tangela, which is terrible, are weak to Psychic. So yeah, this should go well. Erica leads with Victory Bell. It's going to outspeed me, and it goes for Poison Powder, but we one-shot, which is great because it probably would have gone for Wrap. Case in point, Tangela goes for Bind. Along with Poison, that does a lot of damage, but we do outspeed Vileplume, and with 90 special, we're able, actually both in terms of the attack and in terms of our base special, we're able to obliterate a Vileplume in 1 hit. So now all we have left to do in Celadon is go shopping, get Fly, and then we can battle Rival 4. So let's just skip to that. Rival 4 is never difficult, and with Psychic, it's going to be just as never difficult. For Execute and Kadabra, we have to switch to Body Slam, and Execute's a 2-shot, but Yeah, Drowzee's got this part of the game pretty well wrapped up. And so now, after we finish with the kind of tedious Pokemon Tower section, we then are going to go to the mid-game. And because I have a Psychic Pokemon, deciding what I should do next is pretty darn easy. I don't know if we one-shot everything since we're only level 37. We outspeed Coughing, which is good, and Muck, no one-shot, which is annoying, but okay. We level up, we one-shot, and then Wheezing we're probably going to two-shot, and it outsped us. But since it didn't use self-destruct, we're fine. First try victory versus Koga. Now I have to make a bit of a choice. Because at level 38, we're not going to beat Rival Fivel. I mean, we can try, but we're not going to. And Blaine or Sabrina, well, Sabrina, you actually have to beat Rival Fivel first. And Blaine's not going to be particularly easy. I decided to see how much progress I can make versus Rival Fivel. We do have a couple things at our disposal. We have Hypnosis, which I opt not to use against Pidgeot. Takes off about 30 HP. In fact, Growlithe's takedown does more. And then I can go for Meditate. In addition to increasing my attack, since we defeated Koga, my speed will rise as well. And we don't one-shot Execute, but we do both outspeed and one-shot Alakazam. Blastoise, we're not going to, but we get the very unlikely yet seems to happen all the time Paralysis due to Body Slam, and then the 25% chance of it not attacking. For the record, that is a 7.5% chance, which I guess isn't that unlikely. It's the same, well, it's actually a greater chance than getting a critical hit in old Pokemon, not counting Red and Blue, of course, and much greater than getting a critical hit in modern Pokemon. So, yeah, I guess it's a little more likely than I think, but still, crazy how often that happens at the best time. And so, a pretty shocking first try victory versus Rival Fivel. I'm not super excited, and the reason I don't reset these anymore is that you guys already have seen these battles a billion times. This isn't really, I mean, it's good, but at the end of the day, it's going to catch up to me by the Elite Four, probably, and if it doesn't, well, then this wasn't so lucky after all. Then Drowzee's just that good. Just to keep the videos consistent, Giovanni 2, I'm already poisoned. I could battle more Team Rocket members, and with Drowzee, it might be a good idea. But I'm starting to believe in Drowzee. I did talk about how great Psychic Pokemon are, and level 41 isn't horrendous. The big thing we're noticing here is Drowzee's lack of speed. The fact that a bunch of Pokemon that normally would not outspeed a Psychic Pokemon are outspeeding Drowzee is a little bit of a massive problem. There is a way we're going to get around that. Meditate. But before we can start meditating reliably, it might be kind of tough. But right now, we only have two gyms left, Sabrina and Blaine. Sabrina the strat is just going to use Badge Boost Glitch, but one thing that can maybe go wrong is being confused by Psybeam. And okay, well, that's unfortunate. I guess that makes up for our very lucky Rival Fivel first try victory, but we could also put Kadabra to sleep if I really needed to, although the 60% isn't great, but here we use 2 Meditates. That's enough to one-shot Kadabra. Not enough to one-shot Mr. Mime, but that's okay. At level 42, we don't outspeed Venomoth, but Psychic will one-shot. And unlike most other times versus Sabrina, I don't really need to worry about being attacked by anything. In fact, Venomoth was the scariest Pokemon because they're all going to use Psychic moves if they attack at all, which they're not going to do so much because I'm a Psychic Pokemon. So this is one of the rare times with a pre-evolved Pokemon that Sabrina is really easy, even though Drowzee isn't that fast. And now we just have Blaine. In fact, I'm sure some of you know the answer to this, but how many times have I gone actually in the intended order for all the gyms? It's very rare we do that. Okay, against Blaine, I just went for Psychic to see how much it would do, and it knocked out Growlithe, maybe because it got a crit. Ponyta, not outspeed, 2-shot, we level up, meaning badge boosting wouldn't have been an effective strategy. Unfortunately, Rapidash does go for Fire Spin, and then against Arcanine, we can't take 2 takedowns, and Psychic is a 3-shot. None of what just happened is a big deal. We can always mix in Hypnosis, but yeah, no first try victory for me. We are going to get a second try victory. Growlithe is a two-shot, so the crit did matter, as I predicted. Ponyta goes for Growl. Don't forget, this isn't boosting my special yet. It will after we win this fight. Now we're just going to go for Hypnosis against Rapidash. It's a two-shot clean. And then Arcanine, this is why I don't like going for Hypnosis. We missed once. I mean, just 60% is very annoying, but it's very powerful. I actually meant to go for Body Slam there. Just, I don't know. I like using Body Slam. Such a good move. And we've beaten Blaine. We only have one more gym leader to go. He's not going to be all that tough because two of his Pokemon are poison and two of his Pokemon are really slow. All we got to do is beat Giovanni 3 and hope he is a bro. That doesn't make sense. He's always a bro. He's really easy. Okay, so against Rhyhorn, we could set up, but I just go for Psychic and it one-shots. Dugtrio opts not to attack, which is nice, and then goes for Growl. Then Nidoqueen is a one-shot. Nidoking outspeeds, which is fine. And again, we could have set up some Meditates to outspeed and to one-shot, but I didn't see the point. We could just go for Psychic and easily beat Giovanni 3. But the easy battles are going to come to an end. We have a pre-evolved Pokemon that is not particularly over-leveled against the toughest 5 trainers in the game, one of whom we need to battle twice. So, yeah, this may go kind of poorly, but let's see how poorly and where Drowzee has problems, because then I'll know how to find the solutions. So Pidgeot already out-levels me. I go for Hypnosis, and then I just go for Psychic. We're going to level up right now, and so now's a good time to maybe Badge Boost. I'm going to first knock out both Rhyhorn and Growlithe, and then against Execute, I'm going to put it to sleep, and I just start going for Body Slam. That did nothing, so we're going to have to Badge Boost. We have been hit by Leech Seed, but it's not as good as it is in modern Pokemon, which is kind of nice. And so after a couple Body Slams, Execute is knocked out. We don't actually outspeed Alakazam, which is disappointing. And that means we're going to lose versus Blastoise, because even though we do outspeed and put it to sleep, unfortunately the Leech Seed is good enough to knock us out at 6 HP. But I think we can win without having to level up anymore, which is pretty cool. In my second battle versus Rival 6, I think about it, but I don't go for Hypnosis. Unfortunately, I get crit, which is very frustrating. But it's at this point, I just start going for Meditate. I could put Rhyhorn to sleep, and maybe I should have. I didn't think it would do so much. And by the time I put it to sleep, I'm fainted. So we're going to have to try this one more time. I put Pidgeot to sleep this time. But remember, I can't go for Meditate yet. I level up here. Now I'm going to try to put Rhyhorn to sleep. And of course, I missed the first 2 times. But 88 HP is still better than the last time. And our first attempt. So I get 4 before Rhyhorn wakes up. I go for Psychic. I go for Psychic. And then Execute. Do I one-shot? No. Solar Beam is fine. Do I outspeed Alakazam? No. Reflect is fine because we two-shot. And now Blastoise can't do all that much to me. Hydro Pump after a special drop with the Badge Boost increasing my special. Listen, if we had gotten one more Meditate, I think we outsped Alakazam. But I think this goes to show you how good Drowzee is. In any other generation, even if it had 90 base special attack, which it doesn't, Drowzee would be at a massive disadvantage for a lot of other reasons. But in this generation specifically, with Badge Boost Glitch being a thing and Meditate being a Badge Boost glitching move, Drowzee really has a lot better chance than it would otherwise. It's done amazingly post-Brock. However, will the Elite Four pose a significant obstacle? And if it doesn't, is that struggle versus Brock gonna knock Drowzee out of a top-tier spot? Let's find out. So my first battle versus Loralee, you'll notice I don't use rare candies. Being underleveled, I try to go for Meditate, then Hypnosis, but my question is, after 6 Meditates, how much damage do we do? Actually, that's 7 Badge Boosts. We still don't one-shot Dugong with 7 Badge Boosts. Now I have to go for Body Slam versus Slowbro, and remember, I do have an attack lowered because of Aurora Beam. We knock it out, it doesn't do much to me, and we do knock out Jinx. But after leveling up here, Psychic is now not getting the increase. And so I think we're going to have to use the rare candies right now. It's a pre-evolved Pokemon. Expecting an under-leveled pre-evolved Pokemon to beat the Elite Four? A little ridiculous. The truth of the matter is, if I had thrown enough attempts, I probably could have gone to the champion, but we're going to need rare candies if we actually want to win. So now we're at level 58. We're actually at a higher level than Dugong, and we actually outspeed the Dugong. Put it to sleep, we get off 3, 4, 5 Meditates. That's not bad. Psychic doesn't knock it out, but only because of the crit, and look how little Aurora Beam did. Now Psychic knocks out Cloyster in one hit, actually did before. Slowbro is going to be a 3-shot, and then Growl is actually going to boost my Psychic further. Body Slam still 1-shots Jinx, and now Psychic is a clean 2-shot versus Lapras. We level up at the perfect time right after the battle, and we're ready to take on Bruno. You may notice I have saved a rare candy. That's because since we are using badge boosting strats, I'm going to make sure I don't level up in the champion battle. Bruno is easy. Hitmonlee does outspeed. Again, Drowzee is very slow, but nothing else does, and everything else is a 1-shot. And so we have made it to Agatha, who, as long as I remember an elixir, good job there, that would have been bad. With Agatha, we're not going to outspeed, which is going to be a problem, but we probably will 1-shot, I hope. Nightshade, it's not a 1-shot. That is very unfortunate, and Hypnosis thankfully missed. We will 1-shot Golbat. In fact, I'm actually going to go for Hypnosis, and then a couple Meditates, as many until it wakes up, in fact, so that I outspeed the rest of Agatha's Pokemon. Since I did just level up, I don't have to worry about this happening in the middle of the battle, and since the Meditates also boost my special, I don't have to worry about the second Gengar surviving. So that's really good. Lucky that the Hypnosis missed, but pretty good. Now we have to worry about Lance. Lance isn't too big a deal. We might want to start badge boosting early, but we're probably going to level up in the middle of the fight. So that could be annoying. Hydro Pump misses, Hypnosis misses, Hyper Beam does not. Oh, are you kidding me? Well, there goes my first try at level 60 victory. I thought we actually would get it there. That would have been pretty sick. But pre-evolved Pokemon. Oh, I forgot to use rare candies. All right, let's use rare candies and try this again. Since I'm not using any different strategies, we can just fast forward to Lance. I forgot to do this before the battle, which is good because you can see I have 3,000 experience points until I level up. So I don't go for badge boosts. I get the 1 in 3 special drop, which allows me to 2-shot Gyarados. Now, Dragonair is not super scary. I wish we would have 1-shot. We don't. Hyper Beam. Now we level up, and now all we need to do is hit Hypnosis, and the battle is over. But is the run over? Because if we crit, it's fine too, by the way. Oh, whoa! Okay. Did not use enough Meditates. Aerodactyl is a speedy Pokemon. All right, you know what? I guess I counted my chickens before they hatched there. My bad. After losing a battle to Agatha, I make it to Lance for the 3rd time. I know I can go for Hypnosis, not even to badge boost, just because it's safer, and we knock out Gyarados. We know Dragonair is going to be a 2-shot. Hyper Beam is fine. All right. Hypnosis hits. Oh, woke up. Hypnosis hits. 6 Meditates I think we need. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 should be enough. You know, 5 should be enough. 5 was enough. Hooray, we've made it to the champion. Oh, wait, that's a bad crit. No. Okay. All right. Okay, that was almost really bad. I didn't think a crit wouldn't 1-shot, but yeah. We use the rare candy, and now the strategy is simple. Put Pidgeot to sleep. Badge boost. Sweep. Can we execute? I say that as if I'm playing like a Mario level, like, can I press the right buttons? Like, yeah, I mean, it's up to RNG, but we've got the winning strategy. Oh my God. Anyway, Whirlwind's perfect, Hypnosis to sleep, 1 Meditate, 2 Meditates, 3 Meditates, 4 Meditates. Wow. Okay, 5 Meditates, Body Slam, Alakazam, we're gonna 1-shot, and now Rhydon, I'll just, no need. 1-shot, Arcanine. Oh, I should have used that 6th Meditate, but that's okay. It missed. And now Executor, I'm going to want to put it to sleep because I don't want it to put me to sleep. 6th meditates. Body Slam. Body Slam. Oh, we leveled up. We're fine. We're fine, right? Okay, we should be fine. Body Slam. Body Slam. Body Slam. Let's go. By the way, Psychic would have been quicker, but that felt very satisfying. And Drowzee had a pretty decent time versus the Elite Four. Had we not gotten that pretty bad luck versus Lance the first time and the second time, we probably would have won earlier. But all in all, we have a level 63 Pokemon at just over 5 hours. I can safely say if Drowzee started with Confusion, it would be the best Gen 1 pre-evolved Pokemon. Instead, it is probably going to end up, I have no idea, there's still some more to go, but I'm going to guess it does end up in the top 5. Right now, it's 4th. And this list of top tier Pokemon is interesting, so Staryu, you're out of the top 5 now, but we have a few Pokemon that have a really easy time with Brock, a few Pokemon that have a really hard time with Brock. It's kind of interesting that at the pre-evolve level, Brock is still an important factor, but not as important as it feels like, for the top tier at least, than the fully evolved Pokemon. It's kind of cool. Speaking of kind of cool, I have another video coming out for Halloween. Ooh, spooky. So get ready for that video. Until then, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later. Take care.